What is going on, everybody? Is Alex coming back at you with another video. And today we are going to be looking at another PFF mock draft. So if you guys like mock drafts, I post them all the time. I give my thoughts on others. So you guys want a one-stop draft stop, this is the place to be. And we're coming out with more team-specific mocks. So if you guys like that, of course, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell because of all that good jazz. Let's kick right into the video. So let's look at the number one pick, Aiden Hutchinson. You guys can look back on all of my mock drafts. Everybody knows this is not the pick I would go with. I have my reasoning there, but the bottom line is if you guys understand the concept of opportunity cost, you'll realize why I would go Evan Neal 1,000 times over Aiden Hutchinson. Basically, the value in the second's a lot better for edge than it is tackle, and both are very premium positions that have exponential value. So yeah, just that's the bottom line there. Lions getting KT. Again, it's not a bad pick. I love Aiden Hutchinson at number one if if the Jags feel confident at tackle. That's my thing. But number two, Detroit's getting KT. It's the logical pick. If they can trade out, I would. I personally would. I think that Detroit Lions could suck maybe one more year and get Will Anderson and then have a couple more players on their roster. Like you look at Kyle Hamilton, as well as maybe a couple other threats. And like you could even look at Garrett Wilson, Drake London, guys who could be really good threats for this team. Number three, the Texans getting Evan Neal. You know it. You know it. That's my dream. My dream for the Texans there. Just an absolute freak of nature. For Jets, Derek Stingley. Again, I don't need to beat a dead horse here. This guy is not worth a top 5 pick. You did not hear it here first, but you've heard it here plenty of times. Again, not playing well over the past 2 years, being injured the past 2 years. Just, again, you can't fully live in the past. You got to look in the past to see what they will project for in the future. But again, you also can't ignore the bad things that come with it. So again, you've seen the raw talent, but you also need to know who he is now, because that's what really matters. Like, who is he right now? Who's he going to be? And we've seen with even Caleb Farley, just because like you're a great talent doesn't mean that you're going to be very impactful when you're not on the field. Knock on wood, Derek Stingley is the absolute dominant generational threat we thought he was his freshman year. But I mean, again, the human body doesn't give a damn about your raw talent. It gives a damn about whether it's going to be healthy or not, right? So the best abilities, availability, he doesn't have it. Also, a lot better options, I think, on the board. 5, Ike Ekwonu to the Giants. You guys know it. I think that going offensive lineman for the Jets or for the Giants is a wonderful thing. Same thing for the Jets, but the Giants getting Ike Ekwonu, I'm starting to be a little bit more on the train where it really does depend on A, the GM, and then 2, the coach. I think they might be looking at Charles Cross over Icky because there are some really bad games on Ekwonu's tape. He does do some very bad whiffs, and especially in the run game, he does some pretty bad whiffs. I know that I'm going to give him a shout out here. Cam Marino on Twitter, he was talking about how against Jermaine Johnson, which I love Jermaine Johnson. Like, don't even get me started on Jermaine. Icky had quite a bad game. And the fact is, the hate for Icky is very unwarranted, where he's falling to like 22nd overall. Like, that's not warranted at all. But at the same time, when he's a solidified top 5 pick, like he's been pretty much in all my drafts, it is cause for concern. It is cause for concern when he does have pretty terrible outings against NFL level talent. So definitely something I would keep my eye on. You know, I don't think he's a guard, but he can be. Just, I think Charles Cross would be a little bit better depending on your quarterback situation. Again, this is not a very good tackle class at all. If this were in the tier of last year's class, these guys, I would take Christian Darrisaw before Ikem Ekwonu. I would. I really like Christian Darrisaw, though. He was a top 15 player for me. Just, I mean, Evan Neal, I think, challenges the top 2 guys. I think he does. Just Ekem would probably, like, if we stacked up the draft classes, it would probably be at the time, not in retrospect, because Rashawn Slater has done an amazing job. It would probably be Sewell, then Neal, then Slater for me. And again, that's nitpicking, but all 3 of them were phenomenal talents. I was a fan of all of them. And then you'd get probably Darsaw in there, and then maybe Icky, maybe. Tevin Jenkins gives Icky a run for his money. So, yeah, definitely not a very good tackle class, even though the Giants could definitely profit off of somebody like Icky. Again, we have been blessed with very good offensive line classes. Anybody who says this tackle class is great, I'm just going to be honest, don't listen to them. Just don't. I've watched offensive line. I've played offensive line many years. These guys are not premier pass protectors. They're not premier run blockers. Evan Neal's the real deal. That's why I love him so much, because he's actually built to be a 5-star tackle. The rest of these guys, you're really having to take a stretch to get them. So that's the first time I've honestly brought it up on this channel. So cheers to you guys for clicking on this video. Carolina Panthers against Kyle Hamilton. Very intriguing. Very intriguing. I think Austin Gale is the one who wrote this one. And Austin Gale, he's a fun guy to listen to. I don't know where. Yeah, right here, Austin Gale. Really fun guy to listen to. So cheers. Shout out to him. He doesn't need a shout out from me. But, we have some interesting picks in this one. This one is the first one. So Carolina Panthers passed on Isaiah Simmons a couple years ago to go after a D tackle and Derek Brown. And now they're going to be finally going after that DB, like slot corner type of linebacker hybrid player in Kyle Hamilton. And for the right reason. Honestly, if Kyle Hamilton is here, I would take him 10 out of 10 times. Again, you still do have Cross on the board and there are quarterbacks, but it is just unbelievable the amount of talent Kyle Hamilton has. So again, really talented player. I can't get mad at it. And I love the originality because I don't see the Panthers going this way. But again, that is a legitimate option. Giants getting George Karlaftis. I wonder who's been doing that for a while. Yeah, Karlaftis and Ike Ekwonu has been my go-to easy pick for them. So happy to see that. Atlanta Falcons going Charles Cross here. This was one that caught me off guard. But again, I think that Atlanta is far from set at offensive line. It is. So, Charles Cross is definitely worth it. If you're looking for an offensive lineman, there's a huge drop off after Cross. The top 3 are the top 3. I would put Charles Cross above Ike Ekwonu in that list I was talking about with Rashawn Slater and stuff. It'd be Darsaw, Cross, Ike. And that is, again, flexing with Tevin Jenkins there. Charles Cross has that same type of anchor issue that you saw with Liam Eichenberg even had some troubles with it. But Charles Cross has done an amazing job developing, and that's a big plus. I love seeing tackles that work on themselves. He gained 15 pounds, looked a lot better. I think he could gain another 10 pounds and still be pretty damn athletic and have a much better anchor. This would not anger me. Okay, Falcons fans, I know we need pass rush, maybe at left cornerback because AJ Terrell's already locking it down, so it would make it honestly easy to get a stud at corner. The Falcons, the value for an edge rusher as well, not very great at number 8. This might be the best pick. It might be. So this is me looking at picks I've never done before ever, saying that they're pretty good picks. Sam Howell to the Broncos, I love it. My QB1, love it, love it, love it. Jets going Drake London. He very well could, because again, these guys come back from injuries all the time, guys. They do. And they kind of like modern medicine. Cheers to like the recovery, the PT, the nutrition that these guys are taking in. So like you just see these guys come back and they're just as good as they left. Again, Drake London wasn't known solely for his speed or anything like that. And it says right here, he won't be a burner by any means. But his stature, his versatility, his hands, it's just his after the catch ability, especially for his size, it's unlike many things that you've seen. It's ridiculous. This guy could be the best wide receiver in the class. And I love Drake London. He was my wide receiver 4 coming in. That was right behind Treylon Burks and obviously the Ohio State twins. But Drake London still is right there. He still is. He's a phenomenal receiver. I love him to death. I think the Jets could go with a better talent at offensive line. But if they decide to go besides offensive line, this is probably the next best position. So wide receiver Drake London, not a terrible choice when offensive line should be the pick. Again, sometimes teams don't go with their number 1 need, even if it is logical to do so. Washington going Matt Corral. I can't see Matt going above Kenny Pickett since Matt's gotten so many injuries at this point. But again, I think that Matt is better than Kenny Pickett. And I hope that Matt gets his head and ass wired together and starts processing the way he did the year before in 2020. Did he have a 6 interception game? Yes, but he also had 500-yard games where he just completely lit up the scoreboard. So I think Matt Corral has a lot more of a ceiling to him than somebody like Kenny Pickett, but he also has a much lower floor. And I don't like what I've seen from Matt Corral this past year. As much as people want to say he's done amazingly, I would beg to differ. He's still my QB3. He was at the start of the year, and he still is. But just pause for concern right there. Vikings getting Sauce. God dig it. God dig it. Love it. Garrett Wilson to the Browns. Again, this is a pairing that I've done myself. Ravens getting Trent McDuffie. I'm a bit lower on Trent McDuffie than other people. I have a scouting report on my website. Right now, it's the only report I have on there. So if you guys want to see my actual in-depth thoughts, feel free to go there and check it out. Because, again, I'm not that big of a fan of Trent McDuffie. Don't like his size. Don't like his speed. Don't like his ball skills or his run support. So, again, in the right scheme fit, he's going to ball out. This doesn't seem like a right scheme fit. Just going to be honest, I don't look at the Ravens and see a slow corner being the guy who I would go after for him. But again, the Ravens can do whatever the hell they want because they'll make their defenders into superstars. Kyrie Elam to the Eagles. That's a bit high for Kyrie, but again, we could see him rise up boards again if he has a really good combine. Again, 6'2", around 200 pounds. Very good in man coverage. My corner 2. Yeah, he's my corner 2 coming into this year. And that was really close with Sauce Gardner. I had them literally like at 14th and 15th, just stuck together. A phenomenal corner. Just again, had a pretty bad off year this year. Just gotta watch. You just gotta watch out. You just gotta watch out because an off year is something that you can't dismiss. But also, if you're gonna talk about Derek Stingley having off years and still going number 4, there's no reason to say Kyrie Elam doesn't deserve to be this high. The Eagles desperately need a corner too. I would not be pissed off at that at all. Nakobe Dean to the Eagles. I will just say this. I would love it in a fantasy world. I don't think Howie Roseman goes this way. And the reason why is because the Eagles haven't drafted a first-round linebacker since 85. You guys passed on Micah Parsons to go after Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae is a great wide receiver. I'm not trying to diss Devontae, but we all knew that Parsons would be good. We didn't think that he would be well, actually, okay, he was my number 3 guy in the class, and I dropped him to 7 because you guys can go back to those videos if you want to hear about how when I see personality issues, I just cut them pretty much in half, their draft value in half. Guy was my number 3 guy in the entire draft. I think that was above Trevor Lawrence even. Just absolutely loved him. And you guys passed on him. And going to Kobe Dean definitely feels like an amazing move. I just don't see Howie having the cojones to pretty much break that trend. Again, there's some really solid second-round linebackers in this class, guys. Really solid ones. So, when you look at Christian Harris, he declared. Brandon Smith. I don't know. Actually, I've got to triple check to see if Brandon Smith declared. But you still have Christian Harris there. You still have Chad Muma, who's going to be there. There are linebackers in the second that are going to be definitely high-end talents that you can take. It's going to be there. So I don't think that it's a bad pick by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just questioning the realism of it. Again, the Eagles just do not draft first-round linebackers. Chargers going Devin Lloyd. I mean, their linebacking core has not been too bueno, so I could not blame them for this. I would just probably go a little bit more of like an offensive or defensive line pick. Again, not a bad pick at all. This is a bad pick. So I do not like Desmond Ritter at all. You guys can check out my quarterback rankings already up on my channel for that. Just not a huge fan of Desmond Ritter. I think that he has a solid enough arm. I think he has some amazing mobility, and I think he's one hell of a player. Like, I just think he's a really good player. Now, at the quarterback position, you need to be accurate. He's not accurate. I don't care what the percentages say. Percentages don't matter. What you see with your eyes matters. Okay, so one, his wide receivers actually bailed him out quite a bit. Cheers to Alec Pierce because that guy made some crazy adjustments. So just got to give that guy a shout out. Also, he had some good ass tight ends, Leonard Taylor as well as Josh Wiley, both phenomenal talents. When you watch the ball placement, it's about like 2 out of every 7 balls are actually on target. Like on target means your guy's running, it's right here. It's the perfect spot for him. Most of these balls are off right, off left, behind, way out in front. It's not good. It's going to get picked off. It's going to be an interception 9 out of 10 times in the NFL. I'm excited to see if he works on it at his pro day. I will be very surprised if he looks a lot better. Because again, people say don't look at pro days. These guys do work with quarterback coaches in the offseason. That's why I started raising up my grade on Trey Lance. Because again, you started seeing some improvements with his footwork, some improvements with his release, some improvements with his placement. Still didn't get him that high, but I think Desmond Ritter can do the same thing. Because that's the big question mark. Ball placement and accuracy. That's it. Decision making's in there, but that can also come with scheme or with time. And I'm not saying he is hopeless. I'm saying the version of himself that we've been seeing, you guys saw it in the semifinals, was hopeless. Eagles going Jameson Williams. I just don't think Jameson Williams is going to be a good fit for the Eagles. I don't. You have Quez Watkins, who's been making crazy good plays for you. Everybody's like talking about like Devontae Smith being great, and he is. But nobody is talking about how Quez Watkins is just an underrated monster. Like he makes plays left, right, and center, and he's a speed threat. Why would you do that instead of get Garrett Wilson at the spot? Again, I like the position. I just don't think it's a good fit. So to me, it's like 2 out of 3 misses for the Eagles, just again, schematically as well as realistically. Steelers getting Kenny Pickett. I pray to God they don't do that. I pray to God they go after somebody with some talent like Malik Willis, like some higher end talent. But again, if they do that, I understand why. New England Patriots, Treylon Burks. If Bill wants to roll the dice, let him roll the freaking dice. Raiders getting Chris Olave. That'd be a really good separator for the team. It definitely helps out. You kind of lose your true deep threat. But again, this guy does have some good speed. Would not mind that at all for the Raiders. Cardinals getting Linderbaum. Of course, he should have went 1,000 picks before. I'm not going to be all pissy about that. But my issue is the only reasoning is he'll likely slip in the first, but I doubt he gets past Arizona. That's not really much reason why Arizona should take him. Again, he shouldn't. It says pick 24, but pick 20 doesn't even matter. Who cares? That happens to everybody. But Tyler Linderbaum to the Cardinals is really weird unless you use him at guard. Again, Rodney Hudson being there. We'll see. Obviously, he's not going to be there. I know for a fact he's not going to be there. Just the guy is too damn good. If you're seeing guards like Elijah Vera Tucker go at 13, guard and center have very similar values. And I don't know. This is one thing I want to talk about this, guys. Why is center undervalued? You look at some of the best offensive lines, they require solid tackles and centers. The guards are the things that should be undervalued. It should be. The center should be arguably the most valuable. He's a guy, barring a quarterback who likes to do this, does the line protection package. He analyzes the mic. He looks at blitz packages and stuff. The center, if you get a really good one, especially when they communicate with the quarterback. So again, if you have a really smart quarterback, i.e. Aaron Rodgers, you could have an amazing flow of information that both they see and the quarterback sees. I don't know why that's an undervalued position. I don't. Maybe the wins above replacement, when you look at the analytics, isn't very high for a center. And if that's true, I respect that. But when you look at it from a non-analytical point of view and you actually just think about it, center should be the second most valuable or third most valuable position on the offensive line. And tackles, we already know, are extremely valuable. I don't like the idea of positional value, center not being good while guards can go above, which they have it in this. I'm just saying Tyler Linderbaum is a stud. And I think some teams might actually value that really highly. Dallas Cowboys going Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson. I mean, when you saw Trevon Diggs get burnt again on a double move, I've been saying it. Guys let up I think he left over 1,000 yards this year. Just because you make plays doesn't mean you're the best. It doesn't. And no disrespect to Trevon Diggs, because I think he is a very good talent. You need somebody who is a bit better in man-to-man and is a bit better at being able to handle those double moves. Andrew Booth could be that guy. I think a safety might be the better choice, but Andrew Booth's talent is phenomenal. So I wouldn't be too mad if I were Dallas if we got that. Bernard Raymond, just not that big of a fan of him. I'm going to be honest. He still is one of my highest graded tackles in the class, but with all this hype he's been getting, it's like, you guys got to chill. You guys got to chill. He's played tackle for 2 years. Yes, I get that. But you really, like, we got to see his Senior Bowl play, because it's either going to put him into like a late first category like this, or it's going to be dropping him to probably like the 3rd round. Because again, you got to see how he's going to play against high-end talent. He did pretty well against LSU, but there were still some very big red flags on tape. You just got to watch out for that, because I'm saying these grades, similar to what I said with Brady Christensen last year, don't tell the full story. That's the only problem with these tackle grades. Like, Ikem Ekwonu has a really good run blocking grade, but I honestly think he's not very good in the run game. We can go into that when I do my tackle rankings list. Miami Dolphins going Trevor Penning. It kind of sucks for the Dolphins, right? Like, you can think about it. Like, San Francisco might just be winning out of spite just to screw the Dolphins over. But Trevor Penning, I'm not that big of a fan of him. I'm not. His strength is ridiculous, right? When you look at it, his strength is out of this world. Very similar to Ikem Ekwonu. I think he stands up too tall. I think there's a lot of flaws in his game. I'm a little bit worried about Trevor Penning's projection to the next level. Again, I'm very excited to see him in Mobile. Very excited. Just really gotta dig deep to think about how Trevor is going to play. Like, it's a guy who has some big flaws against some very mediocre to low end talent. A team like the Dolphins probably don't need to take another shot on an offensive lineman that might not actually do very much for their franchise. Buffalo Bills getting Jordan Davis. It seems like it's a done deal at this point. Everybody says the Bills are going to get Jordan Davis. I could give them Treylon Burks, and 2 out of every 3 of them will say they will still want Jordan Davis. I don't really get it. I don't. Jordan Davis is not that talented compared to some of the guys he's standing next to. Detroit Lions getting David Ojabo. If he falls, again, I'm not going to be analyzing these guys who get picked up who fell so far. I'm just going to analyze the pick itself, because, again, my draft order and their draft order is going to be a lot different. I think David Ojabo's actual value should be around here. But again, he's a super raw prospect. If you bring on David Ojabo and then next year get Will Anderson, not too shabby. Kansas City Chiefs getting Jermaine Johnson. I love it. I love Jermaine. I think he could go as high as top 15. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Roger McCreary. Love that as well. You needed some help there in that secondary. Titans getting Majai. Very interesting. I think they could definitely still use an edge player, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not that big of a fan of the Tennessee Titans defensive front, but no disrespect to Justin Simmons. Guy's a beast. I think Majai Sanders is a stud, though. I do like him. And Packers against Jahan Dotson, he's going to be an absolute beast. So, I mean, I love him. I love him. I think I commented earlier about to go about putting in Garrett Wilson over here to the Eagles. He already went earlier, so I still get it, but I would probably go after Treylon Burks at that point. But Jahan Dotson does some very elite traits. I am very intrigued about what he can bring to the table at the next level, because, of course, we're not going to be clicking on Jahan Dotson's draft profile, because Jahan Dotson is not special anywhere except for his technique. So that's something that can translate, and something that could either be defeated by higher level corners, or he might just have a really good advantage mentally and positionally over all the other DBs in the NFL that can put a guy like Aaron Rodgers or even Jordan Love and Jahan Dotson in a very good spot for him to go off. So that's going to be the video, guys. Overall, honestly, it's a PFF mock draft, but it could have been 1,000 times worse. So cheers to Austin Gale. Again, these guys are actually doing it a lot better than freaking TDN. So you guys can check out that one as well. But that is going to be all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys on the far side. Peace.